What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun Meehan, and joining me as always is 1920s detective Mr. Ciara Lawler.
Here, see? I know you did it, kid.
Oh, a child murderer, everybody.
I like to keep it light, early. It's a
nice
child murderer.
Connor, delightful to have you here, as usual.
Thank you, Shaun. I've been excited to do this show for many years, and I'm glad you invited me in.
It's about time. Yeah. Connor, this might be someone's first show. Every show is someone's first show. What is Hero or Zero?
Hero or Zero is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we just generally give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC. Shaun, you normally choose Marvel. And last week I did Dr. Hugo Strange, the Batman villain, who, very interesting, very psychological, very cool. So Shaun, I don't know who you're doing this week, but I'm intrigued because it's probably going to be shit, because you're bad at reports and Marvel suck. Double whammy.
That was a lot at once. It was a lot for me to take in there. Oh, boys.
So, Shaun, who are we covering this week from the world of Marvel?
This week, Connor, I am covering a character called the Sentry.
Okay. Is he a gun?
No. You haven't heard of the Sentry, Connor?
Wait, how are you spelling the Sentry?
Sentry.
No, I haven't heard of the Sentry.
Interesting. Very interesting. So, this is a bit
is that
different.
Accusatory?
No reason. Very different from usual reports.
Yeah.
I'm starting this one in the real world. Okay? So
I'm confused already.
Back around 1999, 2000, that kind of time in the world, an old Marvel artist, Róisín was his name, passed away. It was like 80 or 90. So
it is pretty cool, though, that his name was Artie and he was an artist.
I think it was Arthur, but they called him Art. You get me.
Dead right.
So this was reported in a magazine called Wizard Magazine, which at the time reported on DC and Marvel, like comic book news. It's essentially the precursor to this show.
That would die out. That whole form of media will definitely die out.
So Artie's widow discovered a box labelled Marvel Comics, and in this was comic books, some papers, some files, and she returned the box to Marvel. Now, Marvel at the time was going through one of its many bankruptcies.
How many times had they sold the filing cabinets at this stage?
I think they're on their fourth set of filing cabinets.
Fair enough, yeah. Every Marvel story is they make money, bankrupt, make money, bankrupt, and then they made Iron Man, and now they've lots of money.
Clean sailing since then. So she returned the box to Marvel. It was unfortunately lost over the years. Until a writer named Paul Jenkins picked it up. Paul Jenkins was a comic book writer with Marvel at the time. He worked on Marvel Knights, I think was one of the series he worked on. In that box he discovered an old comic book, and it was called Startling Stories Number 1. And it was the debut of a Superman-like hero called the Sentry. Okay. Now, he dug deeper into the box and he found old sketches and outlines of characters dated 1961. Now, that's significant. One, because the sketches were signed by Stan Lee and Róisín, and they were found in 1961. Fantastic Four came out in November of 1961. So what you have on your hands is a hero that might have been created by Stan Lee before the Fantastic Four.
Right. Okay. But never came out.
Never came out, was just lost in this box for years and years and years. And so what Marvel did, they set up now, 2000s, in the modern-ish day, they would do a limited series of the Sentry as a reappearance of a forgotten Stan Lee created hero from the Silver Age of comic books. And it would be like in the style of the Silver Age.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, I was going to say you're printing money, but they were bankrupt, so they probably weren't printing money, but it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, and the most interesting thing about it is that everything I just told you was a lie.
Sorry. Okay. Go on.
So, this was all a marketing thing that Marvel did. Over the course of a year and a half, they set this up. Artie Rosen doesn't exist. He's not a real man.
You made me love Artie. I loved Artie.
I know you loved Artie, but that's the weirdest marketing campaign I've ever heard.
What? I've never heard of this.
But, and the fact that you are saying that, that's exactly what they wanted, because it ties into the Sentry as a character. This new character that they came up with in 2000.
Look, the words I would use are disgusting. That's the word I would use. Because that's fucking outrageous.
That's ridiculous.
I'm after naming my first child Artie from this story in the last 10 minutes. And now this has happened and I feel betrayed.
It's a good story though, isn't it?
Oh, fuck you, Stan Lee. I damn you, Stan Lee. Shaking my fist.
It plays into the story. All of that marketing campaign is significant to the Sentry as a character.
It's genius, but also, who the fuck was evil? Not evil enough. Like, who was batshit insane enough to come up with this?
Paul Jenkins.
Fair enough. Okay.
Actual writer. Okay.
And do you think he came up with the character first or the story behind the character?
Definitely the character. Character first. So,
okay.
In the year 2000, Bob Reynolds, a seemingly normal man, wakes up one night to the sounds of thunder and lightning. Going out into his yard, suddenly he's hit by a wave of memories that he is the superhero known as the Sentry. Okay? The man with the power of 1 million exploding suns. Along with this...
I'll tell you, 0 to 100, real fucking quick. That is, I woke up and now I have the power of 1,000 suns.
A million suns.
Sorry. Because you got to 1,000, it's like, I can't lift these weights.
Along with this recollection, he also realises that his arch nemesis, the Void, is returning to the world. He has an arch nemesis. It'll all become clear.
He just remembers this. Just remembered it.
All his memories come back at once.
Of course.
Most of them.
Yeah.
So the Void is returning to the world. So what Reynolds does, he immediately begins seeking out the rest of the world's most prominent superheroes to warn them of the coming threat. So he remembers, like, in the universe, in the comic book universe, the Sentry was a character that was around in the Silver Age of comics. Like, operating at the same time as the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and the Hulk. And they don't remember him.
Right.
No one remembers the Sentry exists. But in the history of the Marvel Universe, he was there. But for some reason, everyone forgot him. That's where this comic starts.
Okay. Oh, man. I don't even know where to begin. You have like a sly little grin because you've told me the coolest shit in the world right now.
It is cool.
That is such a weird but also intriguing PR stunt to be like, this is the plot.
Yeah, and it's like, that's why when they said, oh, this character that everyone forgot about in the real world, everyone forgot him in the Marvel Universe as well, so they're blurring the lines.
Oh, shit. Okay,
so what he does, Reynolds goes around to, as the Sentry, he goes around to a bunch of superheroes individually. So he first goes to Peter Parker, who, as a journalist, had taken a photo of the Sentry, and that had won him a Pulitzer Prize. And so the Sentry and Peter Parker became quite good friends. Like, Sentry knew he was Spider-Man. So they became quite good friends. They fought crime in New York together.
In the 60s?
In the 60s. And Sentry gives Spider-Man the photograph, Spider-Man gets his memories back. Okay?
Right, okay.
He goes to Angel of the X-Men, Big Wings, and Angel recalls that he had flown alongside the Sentry so that Angel could overcome his fear of falling. So the Sentry was like, you fall, I'll catch you, bud. It's fine.
So, in all these stories, the Sentry is like, he's the Forrest Gump of this world.
He's interacted with everyone.
He's interacted with everyone, had an impact on everybody's life in some way.
And next, he goes to the Hulk. And the Hulk never forgot him.
What?
Bruce Banner forgot him. But the Hulk didn't forget him.
Fuck it. Right, okay.
Sentry helps Hulk to keep control of his rage, because the Sentry can give off kind of a calming aura.
Of course he can.
So, Sentry was a big part of the public gaining approval for Hulk. Being like, oh, he's not so bad. When he's calm, he can be a force for good. Everyone eventually remembered their own memories about the Sentry, and a former sidekick of his named Scout, who again, everyone forgot about. Most importantly, Robert Reynolds breaks into the Baxter building, which shouldn't be possible, by all accounts.
Why?
Because Reed Richards lives in the Baxter building.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
He's the most paranoid man in the world. Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, remembers that him and Robert Reynolds had been best friends. Reed was best man at Robert's wedding.
Okay, well, this is a major part of this story, because now I've turned on Reynolds.
Any man who can be friends with Reed Richards.
Anyone who's friends with Reed Richards is another awful human being.
And look, but Sentry had teamed up with the Fantastic Four to fight the world's greatest threats, and over time, the general public begin to remember the Sentry and remember the things that he has done. Now, at this time, Reed finds a video that he had taped of himself in the past, basically explaining that, okay, if Robert Reynolds is back, that means the Void is back, and that means the world is on its way out. Okay,
so are the Void and Sentry then linked, that the Void goes away and the Sentry then forgets who he is, and then when the Void comes back, then the Sentry remembers?
During the course of an investigation into why the world had forgotten Sentry, Richards and Reynolds make a discovery. The Void and the Sentry are two parts of the same torn psyche. So, as everything that's good about the Sentry is bad about the Void.
Right, so the Void hates Reed Richards. So therefore, we should all side with the Void.
Side with the Void, it rolls off the tongue.
That's the chant.
Sentry's a force for good with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. The Void is a force for evil with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns.
Okay. And so, hang on. Are they the same person? Or
they're
are
both
they
Robert Reynolds.
They're both the same person. Okay, but he's got two personalities.
Yes. 3, because the Sentry is different from Robert Reynolds.
Okay, so he's got 3, but the host body locked the two of them away for many years and made everyone forget.
What happened was, the reason the world forgot the Sentry is that Reynolds had used his power to erase the Sentry from the memory of everyone in the world, including his own, because the Void only exists when someone thinks about it. If anyone thinks about it, the Void exists. And the Void only exists because of the Sentry. So if you think about the Sentry, you think about the Void. And so, with the Sentry gone, there could be no Void.
So he just became a normal man.
Just became a normal man. He wiped his own memory. He went on. He had a regular life. With the heroes of the world united, waiting for the void to come, Reynolds comes to the realisation that he must make the sacrifice again. And so, with the help of Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange, he once again erases the memory of Sentry from the world. And the comic ends. It's like a limited series, like 5 issues. But the comic ends, he goes in, and him and his previous sidekick, Scout, would their catchphrase that apparently they had back in the 1960s
back in the day,
was, let's get some chili dogs. And so Robert Reynolds goes in to like a burger place, a fast food place, and sees the boy who used to be Scout is working behind the counter. And now Reynolds doesn't remember anything about the Sentry at this point, but your man behind the counter says, what can I get you? And Reynolds says, chili dog. So he could potentially reawaken again.
Okay.
And that's where the comic ends. Now, I was originally confused, being like, okay, but why did he remember himself in the first place?
Yeah, that's my first thought, was that he smelled chili dogs or something.
So he remembered himself in the year 2000, the same year that the Sentry comic was published, or that Paul Jenkins discovered that box of things. So the conceit is that because someone in
Marvel
world
had remembered him, and then
he was back.
Holy shit! Fucking
Isn't
hell.
that wild?
That's like such a weird, but also like layered reason to come up with a character. That must have been worked on. Did you say like a year and a half they were working on that?
Yeah, like they would like leak things to magazines and everything like that. And it was only after the publication that they kind of came clean about it.
And for 5 issues, like to do all that just for 5 issues.
Yeah, it was a part of the Marvel Knights series, which was a load of one shots about various heroes.
And we never see the Void.
I believe you do see it, but it becomes much more prevalent. He does crop up again, Robert Reynolds. He comes back every so often, after a mind wipe usually.
Yeah.
Where it's the last resort. A lot of the times they deal with his mental state a lot because he's not stable.
Well, I can understand.
3 people living in one head,
Yeah.
And there are of course times where Sentry and the Void fuse, and he's the most powerful person anyone could possibly be.
And he's ultimately mild about everything at that point.
And then they do go into an origin story for him later on down the line, which was that he was a heroin addict, or he was an addict before he became a superhero, and he broke into a government research lab drunk a prototype super soldier formula trying to get high.
Yeah. He drank a potion. We never get drink a potion these days.
Never get drink a potion. And before they retconned it into that, he had drank a potion at a circus. That's
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right, you had.
That's kind of the end for his main debut story. I love that story. I think it's unreal.
That is so good. Just in terms of as a concept of a character, that is so interesting, but also something you would only do once. That's a bullet in the chamber that once you pull it, you can't use it again.
Yeah, you can't unring that bell. You can't. Now, wouldn't it be cool? I think it could translate into an MCU scenario. That back in 2008, Robert Reynolds erased himself from everyone in the world's consciousness.
He was stopping the Chitauri in 2012.
Yeah, something like that. And you redo all those scenes, but just Robert Reynolds is just in the background.
I think they kind of did all that already though with the Endgame. Them go around the background. You show it from Endgame's point of view, but then you just see him running around behind the other people running around behind the main people.
It keeps going further and further back till it's someone on the other side of the world. in terms of powers and abilities, he has a load of them. So he has chemically
1,000 suns, 1,000,000 suns,
1,000,000 suns, 1,000,000 exploding suns. The experimental golden Sentry serum gave him photokinetic based powers, essentially being fueled by the sun himself.
He's Superman.
So, Superman. Yeah, pretty much all of this Superman. But he can also manipulate his own molecules and the molecules of other things, so he can just do whatever. He's immortal, superhuman strength, superhuman speed, nigh invulnerability, self-sustenance, doesn't need to eat or drink, superhuman stamina, agility and reflexes, senses, flight, he can fly above Mach 10, he has teleportation, he has also some psionic abilities.
Sorry, he can alter molecules, he can teleport, and he can fly over Mach 10.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, that's fair enough.
And he can also bring people back to life using the molecular regeneration as well.
Interesting for a character to just be good at everything.
I know. And he can also share his powers with like Shazam kind of a deal.
Oh, of course.
And he can absorb energy from anywhere and everywhere, including the microverse, which is when you shrink past subatomic, there's a little universe in there. He's also a genius, and he can lift well over 100 tons easily.
But then when he goes evil, he has all of those powers as well?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, kinda, yeah, but like not so much about light and positive energy blasts, but like he'll fuck you up with just dark energy. The Sentry in World War Hulk fought the Hulk to a stalemate.
Right, but I would have said he should beat the Hulk. Just turn all the Hulk's molecules inside out.
He was weak. Sentry was weakened at the time because in comics he developed agoraphobia. So he was afraid of being outside because people might recognise him. And then the Hulk comes
holy
back.
Shit. That is like another whole other level of characterization just to add that in. Just like, how do we nerf this character who's basically undefeatable? Well, he's afraid to go outside. Yeah,
and he's also very weak to psychic attacks because his brain is like hanging by a thread some days. He is readily susceptible to mental manipulation.
He's Homelander.
Described. He might as well be Homeland. Yeah, you can just manipulate him into doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
And he's also weak in the negative zone as well because there is no energy in the negative zone.
Makes sense.
And, 1 to 7 rating system. He has a durability. It's not 7s across the board, actually. He has durability of 6, energy projection of 4.
Sorry. Durability of 6.
Yeah.
You said he was immortal.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I think that's the most durable.
But you can kill him if he's Robert Reynolds, if he's not the Sentry.
Okay, fair enough.
Energy projection of 4, fighting skills of 3. Feel like you're going to have a problem with that one.
Yeah, not great.
Usually when they're invincible, they don't have to be good fighters.
Yeah, Superman's a shit fighter, but he doesn't need to be good. He just punches.
He just punches and it has the force of 1,000,000 suns behind it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Intelligence of 5, speed of 5 but 7 because he can teleport.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mach 10 flight and teleportation.
It's a 5.
Yeah, 5, he's not great.
And a strength of 6. Hulk has a strength of 7 because the Hulk has limitless strength.
Yeah, he just depends on how angry he is.
Exactly. So that's one of the weirdest but coolest characters I know of in Marvel Comics. I just wanted... I'm sorry for lying to you for a solid 6 minutes at the start.
I do kind of still feel betrayed. I'm kind of still reeling that my best pal, he set me up. And no, not my best pal. My best pal Shaun and best pal Artie, they let me down. I feel
we were in on it together.
I feel like you were in together, and I feel like you made me look like a fool. Because I was all in, and everyone was pointing and then laughing, saying, "Connor, ha ha ha! You didn't realise it was a prank, bro. It was all a prank."
Connor, there's no shame in never having heard of the Sentry. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted to happen.
Damn it, I fell
I'm
right
the
into
one
his
bringing
trap.
the void back.
You're the one killing us all. I'm trying to do good.
Round about March of 2020, I discovered this character. I wonder could anything bad have happened then?
Oh, fuck. Oh,
it's
Jesus.
on me. It's on me, lads.
The CDC need to have a chat with you. Just you.
I'll just tell him about the void and kill us all.
I'll kill you, I'll kill me, I don't care. I'll kill us all.
He's officially been dubbed in the past Marvel's most powerful superhero, and I think you can see why. And nobody's heard of.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Just as a character, I think that might be the most interesting origin we've ever had on this, because it goes beyond comic books. It's like a long con.
It is the long con, actually. Yeah, and I will confess, I discovered this, just to give a quick shout out, great YouTube channel, Owen Likes Comics, did a really good rundown of the Sentry.
And
a bit more in depth.
Like?
Marvel movies, presumably.
Such a dumb
actually,
joke.
you'd love it. He does DC stuff as well.
It's such a dumb joke, but whenever I walk down the street and there's like a shop that's just like meat shop, I'm like, what do they do? It's just like, but I think my dad used to always do that, so just, what do they do?
Inherited that comedy.
It's such a stupid joke.
Well,
I
look,
apologise.
it's a good joke. If it ain't broke, Connor. If it ain't broke, don't joke.
Kills every time.
Like the void.
Stop bringing the void back.
Oh shit, sorry. So I did it again, didn't I?
I don't know who the
no
void
one listened
is.
to this.
Nobody, guys, put this down. Seriously, we are fucked.
If there was ever a time to not tell one human being that we exist.
So, Shaun, would you like me to take us out?
Yes, please.
So if you like that report, we've done reports on hundreds of characters over the years. We've done lots of DC, lots of Marvel. We've done the big ones, we've done the small ones. If there's a character you see, go, I've kind of heard of them, don't really know much about them. Just click on one of the episodes, we give you a bit of a 20-minute rundown of everything to do with them, and hopefully you come out thinking, I might read a few comics with them in it. If you're into movies, we of course do our Movie Monday show, and then we do Weird News on Wednesdays, but we also have a Patreon if you want to support the show. You can head on over there, we do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and just generally you can support the show over there. It really helps us out, keeps the lights running, and it's really cool to see all the support over there recently, and the list of names keeps growing every single week on Movie Mondays, which is always good to see. And you can follow us on Twitter at Heroes for Hire Pod, the 4 is the number 4, Facebook Heroes for Hire Podcast, Instagram Heroes for Hire Podcast. If you want some Heroes for Hire merch, we do have a merch store. That link is down below. If you want some hats, some hoodies, some t-shirts, some mugs.
I'm so glad we got that store, because we used to say, if you want Heroes for Hire merch, you're shit out of luck.
You're not shit out of luck. You can get it there if you want to represent. And most importantly, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So, I have been Ciara Lawler.
I have been the void. Oh, I've done it again.
Oh, fuck, no. Sentry. See you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.